saying, what did he just say? I've put on weight? Oh, I've put on weight? Okay. I've lost weight. Yes, thank you so much, children. I can read your mind. So be careful of what you are thinking of right now. I can read each one of your mind. Yes. I know what you are thinking. It's breakfast time. Oh, you're hungry. I know what you are thinking. I'm going to give you lots of homework. Maybe. Well, I'm the mind reader. Can you read what's going on in my mind? No? Somebody said yes there. All right. Yes, the chapter is The Mind Reader, children. And we'll start with the connect, reflect and imagine. Have you read anybody's mind? And actually the next action was that. So you can discuss with your siblings or your parents and reflect. Sometimes a person's body language, the way a person's tone is, it helps us understand what the person is thinking. Somebody, you're pensive, you're thinking, so you're going to be like this, you know. Sometimes you're pondering over something, you'll be like that. So without me speaking or someone speaking a body language and tone, you can actually sense what the other person is thinking. Try to make a list of all these things. Sometimes your parents will just give you one. Very good morning to all. Stay home, stay safe, and don't you worry, children, this shall pass too. Very soon we're going to be back in school. I hope you all are listening to your parents and stay calm and carry on studying and do what you enjoy doing, but please be obedient and disciplined. Chapter 1, The Mind Reader, Grade 6. This is a Santali, it's a tale from Bengal about a king who has assigned a very difficult task to one of his trusted ministers. The trusted minister is the Diwan here. Somebody he has full faith in, he has assigned him, he has given him a job to do, he has allotted him something to do. Children, be ready, page number 2 with your pencils in your hand for all the extra word meanings. And you can do finger reading first, read a paragraph in your mind, and then you can play the video. A king who swore by his own wisdom ruled over the Santal tribals in a river-rich stretch of Bengal. He was ever ready to wage war, convinced his mighty warriors were destined never to lose. He consulted the Pandits when plotting important moves against his rival kingdoms, but often overruled their judgment. So it's about this king who thought he was very wise, full of wisdom. He would consult his Pandits, but he would not really, he would overrule their judgment, he would reject their judgment, even if they said this is not the right time. And to wage a war, wage here means, wage has two meanings, it's a homophone. Wage, a salary, and the other homophone, what is used here, wage, is to carry on. It's a verb here, to carry on a war. And he was convinced, he was certain that his mighty, his strong warriors were always destined. They were always, it was their destiny, it was their fate that they are never going to lose. Then, to the amazement of all his subjects, he sent a crier through his land, offering a huge reward of grain and goats to anyone who could read his mind. Now, what did this king want? He wanted a mind reader. So what does he do? You know what a crier is? Earlier we didn't have technology, so you had these people with the drums going through the villages and say, all right, everybody listen, the king has a reward for somebody who will get whatever the purpose was. You know, with the drums going and beating them and saying, in Hindi I'll say, suno, suno, suno. Yes, got it? All right, that's a crier. So what the king said, he sent his crier around through his land, offering a huge reward. What was the reward? A bag full of grain and goats to anybody who could read his mind. Now, can you guess what I am thinking? He asked one of his courtiers. Who are the courtiers? The people who attend his court, in the royal court. who swept to the ground in a deep bow but discreetly refused to answer. So, he just asked them, he says, "Can anybody read my mind?" They all just bowed like that, and because they didn't know the answer. Nobody could read his mind. Nobody can really read anybody's mind unless you have these certain powers or you some extra powers you got, otherwise you can't read anybody's mind. So discreetly, very, very carefully, they kind of just, they were elusive of the question what the king asked. "Are you mind readers?" He teased the court pundits. Pundits are full of knowledge. So he's kind of asking them, "Can you read my mind?" And they all just poured their heads over their books, the manuscripts, the old books, ancient old books, the dog-eared, and they tried to dodge his question. They tried to be elusive of the question as if they never heard it. Dog-eared children, what is dog-eared? What do you do? I tell you, always in the library, I've always told you, please use a bookmark. Do not turn the page like this, dog-eared. Alright? So, they were busy, they put their faces inside the manuscripts and they dodged his question. Not many people came forward to hazard a guess, which irritated the king even more. Finally, he summoned his Diwan, the loyal chief minister, who had served him for over 2 decades. 2 decades? 10 years make 1 decade? 2 years would be 20 years. He was his most trusted, most loyal Diwan, chief minister. So he summons him. Summon, please underline the word summon, is a verb here. Summon means to order for somebody to be present somewhere. Okay? Well, I've summoned all of you to open your books and come here right now. The king summoned his Diwan to the court. "I'm going to entrust you with a job of utmost importance," declared the king. Will you do your best for me?" the king tells us Diwan. Diwan says, "Haven't I always, sire?" Another way of saying, "Sir." "Haven't I always done that?" said the Diwan softly. "You have, Diwan Moshe. It's another Hindi word," replied the king. "One can think of no one else who can carry this out. I want you to scan every square inch of my kingdom to find a man who can predict what's on my mind. I want you to go to every nook and corner of my kingdom and find me a mind reader, and I know you can do it." "How long do I have, sire?" The troubled Diwan. Why is he troubled? He's troubled. How can he do it? How can he find a mind reader? He says, "How long do I have, sire?" "A month from today," the king pronounced, waving the Diwan out of his sight. No matter how hard the Diwan searched, he found this genius elusive. Elusive as in very difficult to find. A genius, he's looking for a mind reader, so he could not really find a mind reader. No one in the kingdom revealed the faintest trace of the unusual talent the king sought. Nobody in the kingdom gave an iota of trace, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of interest that yes, maybe this person is fit for this job. Finally, with just a week in hand, the Diwan gave up to despair. Despair, hopelessness. He was like just not hopeful anymore that he's going to find a mind reader. Why is he feeling so dejected? Because he could not find a mind reader for his king. So he's feeling very, very dejected. "What's bothering you, Baba?" his grown-up daughter asked him at breakfast, watching the dimming light on her father's eyes. She served him from a clay pot the rice which was cooked and left to ferment overnight in water, with a handful of shutki or dry fish. Now the story is based in Bengal, so Bengali people love eating their staple diet is rice and fish. She takes it from a humble background, having from a clay pot, ferment something which is fermented. It's been kept overnight and it become fermentation. So daughter is really bothered. Baba is very depressed and feeling dejected. So she says, "What's problem, Baba?" At first he huddled over his food. He's like eating his food and refused to confide. To confide in somebody, to talk about something just bothering you to somebody, to confide in a person, take that person to confidence and talk. You all confide in your parents. Yes, something bothers you, you talk to them about it. So, but by the last morsel, by the last bit of grain, he had told her all. He tells her that this is a problem, I'm feeling very low, I'm in despair, I need to find a mind reader and I'm unable to do so. A week is left and I don't know what to do. On the seventh day, that is almost the last day, he has to bring forth the mind.